Alright, what's up guys? Brian here, and this is my WWE SmackDown Live review from last night's episode of SmackDown Live. So let's get right into it. Of course, last night's episode was uh, was SmackDown's go-home show before this Sunday's Survivor Series, and I have to say, the the story of last night's SmackDown was Raw put SmackDown under siege, and I'll get into that in just a moment. But there were two title matches, one of which was for the United States Championship that started off SmackDown last night. It was Baron Corbin defending the United States Championship against Sin Cara. Of course, the winner of this one would go on to face the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, from Raw this Sunday at Survivor Series. I actually thought that Sin Cara put up a really good fight in this matchup. Given the fact that he was giving up a lot of strength, size and power in this matchup. He did use his speed and agility. However, it was not enough, as Baron Corbin would go on to retain the United States Championship with the end of days. So now Baron Corbin's attention turns to Survivor Series and the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, who Baron Corbin and Miz have been going at it through social media over the last few weeks since this match was made, and now these two will battle it out this Sunday, champion versus champion. The other championship match that took place on last night's SmackDown was Charlotte Flair challenging Natalya for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Of course, the winner of this one would go on to face Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss this Sunday at Survivor Series. This matchup, also taking SmackDown last night, took place in Charlotte, North Carolina, Charlotte's hometown. On a Facebook Q&A yesterday, a couple hours before SmackDown, she dedicated this match to her father, Nature Boy Ric Flair, and this one, I have to say, was actually pretty good as well. These two have put on some very hard-fought battles in the past. This one was no different. Charlotte coming out of the box, dominating early in the match, and then Natalya would gain the advantage until the end, where Charlotte would wind up hitting a big boot on Natalya, and then finally locking in the figure eight and making Natalya tap out to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion, winning the championship in her hometown. Very emotional moment for her. She would then cut a promo saying, that ever since she came to SmackDown in the Superstar Shakeup, that championship was the one thing that she always wanted to get, that she had her eyes on, and that this Sunday she's going to make Alexa Bliss bow down to the Queen, because she made it very clear that when she was on Raw, there was a queen on Raw before there was a goddess. And then she also she started talking about her dad, Ric Flair, who would make a surprise appearance last night on SmackDown, celebrating with. He came out, hugged Charlotte for winning the championship, and that was pretty much it. So a very emotional moment for Charlotte to be able to celebrate that title win with her dad. So, like I said, a very emotional moment for her. And now her attention turns to Sunday, Survivor Series, and Alexa Bliss. So, let's see what else we had. We found out that next week We're going to see the debut of the Bludgeon Brothers, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Um, there had there had been stuff that I was reading online that apparently they gave up on the gimmick. WWE did, but they're still doing promos for it. Um, so I don't know what we're going to see next week, but they said it's supposed to be the Bludgeon Brothers next week, debuting Harper and Rowan. So we saw Chad Gable taking on Jimmy Uso. Sorry. Um, this one was okay. This was stemming from from their tag title match. I believe it was last week or the week before, where um, uh, the Usos lost the count out. So, but like I said, this was somewhat okay of a match. Jimmy Uso picked up the win in this one with a super kick after Chad Gable's partner Shelton Benjamin. Jey Uso would all get involved. Those two would get involved, and that would allow Jimmy Uso to hit a super kick on Chad Gable to pick up the win. And then we move on to the main event, which was the New Day, Xavier Woods and Big E. They took on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This was a solid matchup, a pretty okay matchup in my book. The ending, however, let me see, sorry, I'm recording this at 3 something in the morning on Wednesday morning. But getting back to the match was okay. The ending, however, saw the Shield come out, and near the end of the match, their music would hit. They would come through the crowd. They would come out of come through the crowd. They would surround the ring like they have done. They do all the time. They would get on the ring apron. Owens and Zayn would leave the ring, leaving the New Day to fight the Shield. Of course, these two, the Shield and the New Day, are going to be facing off this Sunday at Survivor Series in a huge 6-man tag team match. They would start battling it out. The Usos would come out. Then Cesaro and Sheamus, the Raw Tag Team Champions, they would come through the crowd, and they would get involved. They would attack. Then, there would be, more guys from Raw coming in. There would be Shane, Baron Corbin, and all them would come out from the SmackDown Live locker room. A huge brawl would break out. You would see backstage. The women of Raw. As far as their Survivor Series team, they would go into the women's locker room for SmackDown, and they would basically just beat down the women's locker room, kind of like how SmackDown did a few weeks ago when they invaded Raw. Then they would go back to the arena where Braun Strowman's music would hit. He would come out, start knocking down SmackDown superstars. Basically, to make a long story short, this would end with Shane McMahon getting hit with 2 triple power bombs, and Kurt Angle making it very clear that Raw is going to decimate SmackDown this Sunday at Survivor Series. And that was pretty much it, with Raw, with Kurt Angle and the Raw superstars standing on the entranceway, standing tall, standing proud, and finally getting that revenge for SmackDown's invasion of Raw I believe it was last month. So, a solid ending to SmackDown last night, in my opinion. My overall thoughts on SmackDown, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I really liked the ending of it. Seeing Raw finally invading SmackDown after several weeks, and of course, Charlotte becoming the new women's champion was good to see. So now, who's going to be the 5th member for Team SmackDown's women's division? or women's team, I should say. We'll have to wait and see Sunday. But I thought SmackDown was pretty good this week. I can't wait to see what happens at Survivor Series, especially with all these changes that have been made to the card. We also heard from AJ Styles, who in a funny segment at the beginning of the show had Daniel Bryan asked to be his advocate. He started mocking Paul Heyman as far as what Heyman said on Monday Night Raw. And that was pretty much it. So, like I said, my overall thoughts on SmackDown, I thought it was actually a pretty good show last night. If you guys watched SmackDown last night, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. This has been my review of what took place on last night's episode of SmackDown Live. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.